The Miracles of Your Mind by Joseph Murphy. What I've done is I've pulled quotes from 2 chapters from this book. And the reason why I did this is because I believe it's very important to realize this on the journey of creating the success that you want. You are also building a relationship with your subconscious mind. Guidance is found within via your subconscious mind. Intuitive nudges, inspirations, hunches are received via your subconscious mind. And also overcoming fear, the way is revealed to you via the inner guidance through the subconscious mind. So thus building a relationship with your subconscious mind is very important. And the subconscious mind speaks through hunches, inspirations, and ideas that are revealed a lot of times in the most unexpected times. But it's not unexpected when we understand how it works. It's usually states of mind, like state akin to sleep, drowsy state, or flow state, or states where you're very relaxed. You're not identified with fear. You don't have a lot of thoughts running through your mind. This is in these moments where you can tune in to your inner voice and even have a conversation with your inner voice. This is an indication that you have built and you're continuing to build and nurture the relationship that you have with your subconscious mind that will guide you in the direction of what you're looking to create. So let's get a little deeper into discussion. Joseph Murphy said, in explaining the workings of the subconscious mind to our recent college class, one of the men present said that the answer to his problem came to him while he was shaving. The reason for this was that while he was shaving, he was relaxed. Then the wisdom and intuition of the subconscious mind came to the surface mind, which brings up our first point. It's important to operate this navigating reality from a place of flow and relaxed, calm faith. If you feel a lot of tension, anger, resentment, and force energy, what you are doing is you're affirming that on the subconscious mind, impressing that on the subconscious mind, and recreating it as people, environment, circumstance, and information to reveal this tension that you have within. What we're looking to do is receive the communication via the inner voice or hunches and inspirations via the subconscious mind. And the way we do it is by listening. And it is a subtle voice that we experience in a relaxed state. Now notice this, and I'll even reflect back on my journey. Anytime I was able to solve a problem, not all the time, but most of the time, I was in a relaxed state. And I was able to resolve it in the most creative way, ways that I never thought of before, through ideas, hunches, and inspirations that was received via the subconscious mind, through inner voice conversations, through hunches to step in the right direction, to reveal to me certain ideas that may not make any sense to anyone else, but I had this hunch that it was going to work, so I took action on that idea, and then it produced the result. Those hunches and inspirations were received in a relaxed state. So thus it's important for us to practice meditation and look at our lives and say, are we navigating this reality from a place of tension, fear, frustration, anger, resentment? Or are we navigating this existence in a way that allows certain kinds of information to be received via the subconscious mind to guide us in the direction, aka a relaxed state? Now, one of the best ways to do this is to be in flow state. Okay, flow, I did a video on this, is where challenge meets skill. Sweet spot. You have confidence that you're going to rise up to the challenge real time as you're performing the task. And you rise up with higher levels of skill. This idea or hunches and inspirations on how to rise up with a higher level of skill is received via your inner voice. You become autotelic, one with your inner voice. Your behaviors become automatic. You're engaged in the process. This all happens really fast. You don't have to think about it. Most of us have experienced flow state. The key is to remain in flow state for extended periods of time, to facilitate flow state in our work environments and the day-to-day activities. and to remain in it as we receive hunches and inspirations and ideas, guidance from the world within via our intuition while in flow state. This also allows us to be more relaxed, because if you've been in a flow state for an extended period of time and less of the states that you've experienced throughout the day have been frustrating, stressful, overwhelming, identified with fear, let's say, it's easier to relax. So if you segment your day to be one of predominant flow, segment your day to have relaxation and reflection time. And, if you want to have some controlled chaos where you put yourself in situations that are extremely challenging, then that is fine. But we also want to make sure that we are allowing ourselves to experience relaxation often, enough that is apparent in our results, in our behaviors, in our ability to facilitate ideas within. If you're not getting enough ideas, hunches, and inspirations within, then you're probably not dedicating enough time to relax and allow the subconscious mind to express to you, to give you the hunches and inspirations. He also says that you will often note that immediately after awakening, the answer will come to you because you are still half asleep and half awake. There is an outcropping of the wisdom of the subconscious mind at that time. Now, this happens prior to going to sleep. This happens also after you wake up. And you can also experience it throughout the day by mimicking the same kind of state of mind, where you are zoning out and into your imagination. You are released from five sensory data in a way that you experience as fear. You are less identified with the outer world, and you become more connected to your inner world. Now, you can experience this while you're walking. You can experience this while you're doing certain kinds of activities. It's important to take an inventory and journal. What are the different activities that create this sensation for you, in which you have this connection with your inner voice? It communicates with you. You also receive more hunches and inspirations as a result of these certain activities that facilitate the state of mind. And then commit to yourself that you're going to facilitate that more often so you can get better ideas, hunches, and inspirations that you can apply to create the success that you want. When you are beset with a problem, what do? Many people will worry and fret about the problem. This makes matters worse because the subconscious mind always magnifies what we impress on it. So we have a desire to create success, and we want to operate predominantly from a place of flow. We also want to dedicate time where we're able to relax and allow the subconscious mind to speak to us, to communicate with us, to share with us insights and perspectives to create the success that we want. But if we worry and we identify with worry through thought processes and emotional attachments to worry, we are further impressing that worry on our subconscious mind, and it will express itself in our thoughts, our emotions, our communication, and our actions. It will also reveal to you in the outer world the manifestations of this worrying that we have to help you identify what you are being impressing on your subconscious mind. I call this building a relationship with my subconscious mind. I look at the outer world and I see what's expressed, and then I say, these are all expressions of my subconscious mind. What is helping me? What is contributing? And what appears to not be contributing? Usually it's the elements related to fear, doubt, and indecision that expresses itself some way in the outer world that I reflect upon and say, that's from the cause world within, and it's from past programming. What can I do to change this past programming? I identify my past programming. I rewrite the meaning of or the beliefs and assumptions within, and I affirm it using one of my subconscious mind modalities, which I'll put a link in the description. I recommend you watch it. This changes the programming within, and I worry less. I have less worries. And as a result, I maintain this state of mind more so, and over the years I've been able to do this more so than ever before, that facilitates hunches, inspiration, insights on a daily basis that allows me to create what I desire from a place of joy, bliss, and ease. Many liken the subconscious mind to a bank. You are constantly making deposits in this universal bank. Be sure you deposit seeds of peace, harmony, faith, and goodwill. These will be magnified 1,000-fold, then prosperity and good fortune will be your harvest. How do you find yourself reacting to the problems of the day-to-day and your environment? Okay, this is an indication of what you are impressing on your subconscious mind, reaction. If you react with anger, bitterness, criticism, and resentment, you are making these deposits in the bank within you. Now, why is this important when it comes to guidance? See, what we're looking to create is something that is in harmony with our higher self, who we aspire to be. It's our desired outcome. And none of that stuff involves anger, bitterness, criticism, resentment, either as the outcome or the process. We want to release from those reactions. Now, we've been having these reactions based on past programming. So, as it is being experienced in the outer world, we don't shame ourselves, we journal, we take notes on how it shows up, and the beliefs and assumptions that we have within that externalizes it accordingly and projects it on people, environment, circumstance, and information, knowing that if we encourage those elements, they're going to be impressed further in the subconscious mind and will continue to express on the journey to creating what we desire. So as these elements show up, we note it and we change the meaning within. And what we'll start to notice is that we feel a lot more in flow, a lot more relaxed. Now, you don't have to be doing this vigorously all day long, noting every bit of anger. Just a handful of elements a day will help you, as at the end of the evening you can apply the pruning shears of revision, which Neville Goddard talks about, where you simply go into your imagination and rewrite those experiences in a way that would be ideal, from a place of strength, faith, confidence, and ideal spirit of harmony, benefit for you, others, and divine and evolution. Now, what we're doing here is we're impressing that on the subconscious mind. And then what we'll notice is that we'll be navigating reality from that perspective more so the next day. Our thoughts, our emotions, our actions will be in alignment. We'll have more confidence. We'll have more faith. And this will stimulate a greater degree of clarity within, of guidance from within, hunches, inspirations, inner voice connection, that will reveal to us the different elements, insights, perspectives, actions that will bring us in alignment with creating what we desire. Our subconscious convictions and beliefs dictate and control all of our conscious actions. The secret of guidance or right actions is to mentally devote yourself to the right answer until you find its response in you. Okay, this is a matter of focusing on what is right. It's the outcome. Most focus happens subconsciously, so we are aligning ourselves. Reaction teaches us what we are aligning to subconsciously. If we experience anger, bitterness, criticism as a result of outer world's five sensory data that is experienced as tension, or this feeling within where we are feeling reactive and we're experiencing fear and we're not in a place of flow or a place of calm about it, then this is past programming, and we can change this past programming within. And then as a result of changing this past programming within, we'll start to notice that we respond differently. He says the secret of guidance or right action is to mentally devote yourself to the right answer. Now, when you experience reactivity, a lot of times you forget about the right answer or the destination. You don't remember in that moment consciously the outcome. What we want is to subconsciously remember that outcome and have that express. But what we experience as far as reactivity is orienting us in a direction that is a lot of times not in harmony with that outcome. So thus we have an opportunity then to release that program. As we release that programming, we'll have better faith and understanding and belief, and we will even find new beliefs and assumptions in the world within to guide us in the direction of the definite chief aim, the outcome that we desire. That's all received in the world within. So as we release the reactivity, we also develop the connection with the inner voice and guidance within. We get a greater sense of clarity of what to do, how to think, and our response will be one of excitement, joy. The same circumstance at one point that used to make you feel bitter, anger, and reactive to, now is turned into an opportunity. And many opportunities in life were once obstacles to people, and they were able to turn them into opportunities by changing the meaning of their reactivity to that element to reveal within an inner guidance-based meaning that allows them to transcend that obstacle and see it into opportunity. Now reflect back on your life and realize that you've done this before. This is not new to you. You've done it. Taking inventory of where you've done it will give you a lot of confidence and will help you understand that you can do this again, again, and again. See, you receive guidance in accordance with your habitual thinking. If you think and dwell upon fears, troubles, and failure, you will be guided in the wrong direction. See, what we're tuning into is a deeper level of spiritual connection to our higher self. That guidance that is received via the higher self is spirit of harmony based. Fears, trouble, failure, or any of those wrong direction elements that are stored in the subconscious mind are based on previous five sensory data impression from this five sensory world that has impressed in your subconscious mind. It does not come from the sixth sense. And when we release that programming, not only will we be guided via our subconscious mind by the programming that we have been impressing, which is the empowering programming, which is the programming that is in alignment with your definite chief aim, but will also receive higher spiritual guidance from the world within. Take this great thought and dwell upon it. There is nothing to fear in all of the universe. You have the power to control through the wise use of your subconscious mind. Sit down quietly now and think of a beautiful lake on top of a mountain. It is a still, quiet night. On the surface of the quiet lake, you see mirrored the stars, the moon, and perhaps the trees nearby. If the lake is disturbed, you will not see the stars or the moon. Similarly, quiet your mind. Relax and let go. Think of peace and stillness. Then over the mirrored waters of your mind will move the answer to your question. This visual impression reveals to you a state of mind. As you imagine this scene, notice that you relax. It is a visual representation of a collaboration and connection between the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the superconscious mind. At any point, you can use these imaginary cues to bring you into that state. When you find yourself in that state, you'll notice that you'll have a greater degree to communicate with your inner voice. You'll also find that you are less identified with fears, troubles, and thoughts of failure. And then, what you have impressed in your subconscious mind as what you desire to be brought forth will be revealed to you as the wave via the conversation you find with your inner voice. And you will be astonished on the kind of elements, confidence factors, thoughts, ideas that will be revealed to you in the process. And as you continue to practice doing this or something similar to this, you will find that you'll have a greater ability to tap into the inner guidance that guides you in the direction of your definite chief aim. You realize that the subconscious mind is constantly expressing. It's either expressing fears that was impressed on it or empowerment that was impressed upon it. And as the fears express in the outer world, or as they are experienced via five sensory data and interpreted from within, you'll change the interpretations of those fears within using one of the modalities. Again, I'll put the link in the description. And as a result of doing that, You release those fears. You then begin to communicate about your vision with your inner voice, where you are moving towards, and you will also receive higher spiritual guidance in the world within. Overcoming fear through the subconscious mind. So we talked about building a connection, a relationship with our subconscious mind, moving in that direction, facilitating the inner guidance, the inner voice. Let's talk about the only element that could break that connection, which is fear. Now, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, he talks about the 6 basic fears. Fear of old age, fear of death, fear of ill health, fear of loss of someone, fear of criticism, and fear of poverty. Pretty much all your fears, actually all your fears, can be categorized in one of these areas. We want to identify our fear, if possible, and if needed, track it back to its source, and use one of the subconscious mind modalities to overcome the fear, meaning in the mind, the belief and assumption in the mind. Now, you can also overcome fear by taking action in the right direction. But some fears might be so crippling that it can be experienced as really hard to take that action, in which case you are supported by your subconscious mind by having a conversation with your subconscious mind and impressing your subconscious mind. Here's a great example of the entire process, and we can get into discussion. Joseph Murphy says, "Following is a process and technique for overcoming fear, which I teach from the platform, and it works like a charm. Try it. Suppose you are afraid of the water or a mountain, an interview, an audition, or you fear closed places. If afraid of swimming, begin now to sit still for 5 to 10 minutes, for 3 to 4 times a day, and imagine yourself swimming. Actually, you are swimming in your mind. It is a subjective experience. Mentally, you have projected yourself into the water. You feel the chill of the water and the movement of your arms and your legs. It's all real, vivid, and joyous activity in the mind. It is not idle daydreaming, for you know what you are subjectively experiencing in your imagination will be developed in your subconscious mind. What we're doing here is impressing the subconscious mind. Then you will be compelled to express the image and likeness of the picture you impressed on your deeper mind. This is the law of the subconscious. As you continue to discipline your mind this way, and this requires practice, you are mentally immersed in the water and happy in it. Consequently, you'll notice that the fear starts to pass away. You will enter the water physically, and when you enter the water physically, you'll notice that you'll have less fear. You'll be less reactive. Now, as you repeat this process in supplement to moving in the direction, stepping into the cave that you fear to enter, you'll notice that it'll become easier and easier. Now, this entire process that we're talking about here, in a nutshell, is exactly what I did to overcome fears, doubts, and indecision in the world of business, in the world of fitness, in the world of relationships. I would take inventory of what shows up, and I would overcome it using the subconscious mind modalities and also taking action in the direction, because my inner voice guided me to take the action. But as I experienced fear in about taking the action, I realized that I had an opportunity then to go into my subconscious mind and evolve past those fears. And as I evolved past those fears, taking action in the direction became easier. And then certain activities in business like deal making, sales, prospecting became joyful, blissful. Certain aspects in relationships like dating and communicating effectively and overcoming difficult conversations and really authentically expressing myself and desires became easier. In my personal life, relationships with my friends improved because I did not deny myself. I authentically expressed. I operated from a higher degree of integrity. And as a result of doing so, the outer world externalizes. The people respond and externalize because everyone is you pushed out. They externalize based on the programming that we have within. So he says, as you continue to discipline your mind this way, you are mentally immersed in the water and happy with it. Consequently, the fears pass. You will enter the water physically. I might say you will be compelled to give a good performance. You have consciously called upon the wonderful power of your subconscious, which is all wise and powerful. This power controls you and governs you accordingly to the nature of your call or request. This is a wonderful thing to know and a marvelous thing to do. So to overcome fears, we have to remember that most of the work is done via the subconscious mind. We can go into what we fear and we can change the programming within using one of the modalities or using this exact exercise here. The goal is to imagine yourself, whether it's through affirmations or imaginal acts or having an inner voice conversation or self-talk, being able to overcome that certain situation, to take the step in the right direction if you know it's the right step. Through conversation with yourself, and in the process, you build a relationship with your subconscious mind. You'll notice that it's easier to take the step. You'll also notice your self-esteem and your self-confidence going up. As mentioned, relationships and friendships evolved as a result of doing this work and overcoming the fears within. Most problems in relationships and friendships or interactions with others have to do with fear, probably all of them. Our fears get projected into the relationship, into the conversations, into the interactions, and it externalizes and it mirrors accordingly. The other person reveals to us the fears that we have within. So thus, it's important to remember that we can overcome these fears and evolve these fears by going into our subconscious mind, by changing the meaning. By the way, this is how the subconscious mind was impressed anyways, through experience in life. 5 sensory data from the past to create these fears. And so now what we're doing is we're re-impressing the subconscious mind. We're understanding these fears and we're evolving them into the ideal. As a result of that information being impressed in the subconscious mind, you'll notice that your behaviors change, your thoughts change, your ability to respond rather than react increases. You'll be less reactive. Now, some fears might not be overcome overnight, and that's okay. As long as you repeat this process, you'll notice that your fears have less and less grip on you. As you release your fears, you'll be able to, real time, in the moment, have a conversation with your subconscious mind and inner voice, guidance leading you into the direction of stepping into the cave that you may fear to enter. If you want to copy this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.